Radhe Govinda. Radhe, Radhe, 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 Radhe Sitting here with Miten, Deva Premal and Miten, and they're traveling through Europe, giving concerts almost every night. They've just had a few days resting here in Cologne, and somehow when you play together, just these few minutes, it already in a way answers the question, you know, because immediately sitting here, I feel it's not just music that you're offering. So almost immediately there's a beautiful connection happening with the three of you, and immediately I'm touched from that. So even I'm not particularly listening to the words, the atmosphere you create almost within seconds, for me, is satsang. And so it's a very opportune moment to talk to you for this project, Blueprints for Awakening. So as you travel through Europe and you make these concerts, do you deliberately, if you like, over the years of singing and making your concerts, do you deliberately offer satsang? Or has it just evolved naturally somehow?
I think it's also a definition of what satsang is, you know.
Mm.
And for me, the first time I heard of the word satsang was with Osho when he went into silence in 81. And there was communion with the master, and it was a certain format of a meditation of 1 hour. You know, that's the first time I heard that word. And so that was so deep for me, this is satsang, that I was surprised when suddenly satsang was answering questions and you know, I didn't, that's just, you know, satsang is silence and it's music and it's, you know. Now satsang, the translation is meeting in truth or communion in truth, and that's definitely what it feels like for me, what we're sharing.
Right.
But not but, yes.
Yeah, this is what I can feel immediately. You know? I never thought to even ask you to bring your guitar because I was planning to ask you questions. Immediately, there's satsang happening here.
Yes, amazing.
I mean, you're very familiar now, I guess. You've been traveling for 16 years.
16 years, yeah. You know, the music, the reason I wanted to play something is because that's the only way we can express it. You know, it's because you know, and we all know, it's beyond words. Whatever it is, this experience. So we continually try and somehow frame it in some way because that's our nature. But the only way for us to be able to do it, and of course other people have found other ways and can express it through words. But for us, the music is pure because it was actually conceived and born within the realm of a spiritual enlightened master. It wasn't something we brought to the master. It wasn't something that we thought up after the master had left his body. It was actually born in that time. Like I'd stopped, my journey in this was that I'd actually stopped thinking of myself as a musician when I came to Osho. I sold all my instruments. That was my job. And the last thing I wanted to be was a musician. I actually stopped completely identifying as, I didn't want to be a musician anymore, you know. I wanted to be free. And I didn't ever expect to want to play music again. I was so enthralled and enriched, you know, by the music that I was hearing in the ashram that was coming at me. You know, it was like, this is all I need. And so it was, my journey was that it came back to me through gratitude of being with the master. You know, I just wanted to say thank you. And so the guitar, and that was a way I could say thank you. And so and it came back. Then I started to play again. In Deva's case, she came to me. We were hanging out as friends, and she started to sing. And you know, in that whole journey, we were first lovers. We were first lovers, and then her journey began also in the ashram, began singing again. She was taught as a teenager, as a young girl, but she dropped it as a teenager. So the music just came out of this gathering, this whole connection. And it's still that. It's nothing, we can't do anything else. We never tried to shine it up or do anything other than
be a kind of medium, maybe.
Yeah, we feel like
through.
messengers. We feel like we're kind of messengers. I don't, you know, that's where I feel comfortable with this stuff coming through us, and it's recognized, and it's also when people come, they bring it too.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So without knowing it, they bring it somehow. The love is palpable. What's that word? Palpable.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually going to ask you about this love because it seems to me what you just said, you know, it started with a personal connection in love, and then it developed into a connection through the master, also in love. And now, in fact, it's changed in the sense that now you're sharing, I feel, as a master's in your own time. You know, you call it being a messenger. But I mean, it's steps, yeah, and it's a flow, and it just happens, I think.
Yeah, I feel myself more like a facilitator. You know, like it feels like we all have that urge and need and love to come together and be together and sing together and be in silence together. But we need somebody to make it happen. You know, we need some
catalyst.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like. You know, like we're somebody who can provide that space that we can all be together.
Right.
And that's a very relaxed feeling for me, you know. That's good. I feel good with
Well,
that.
we're free of
Yeah.
performing.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the love can come through. The love that is there, then the love comes through because there's nothing in the way of it.
Right.
Right.
You're singing mantras. Can you tell us what a mantra is?
Mantra.
He's English. He's a mantra.
I mean, a mantra is like a magic formula that's made up of sounds, Sanskrit sounds usually, and they're very specific in their effect on our energy system and our body. Like scientifically, every sound in the Sanskrit alphabet is related to one petal on our chakras. So there's 50 sounds, there's 50 petals on the chakras. So these sounds are put together in a very specific way so that we are affected in a very specific way. That's why there's all these different mantras for different situations in life and different focus. We want to focus on love, or we want to focus on awareness, or Shiva, consciousness, or Krishna, sweetness, love, devotion, or Ganesh, removing obstacles. They're all like the mantras and the form of Ganesh or Krishna. They are like a reflection of that energy to help us connect with that more easily. And that's why we can try to find some translation for the mantra, but it'll always fall short.
Right.
That's a bit like when we say we talk, but some of the music can maybe express it more purely than the words, which always will just touch it
Right.
just about.
Am I right in thinking that you had a special connection with the Gayatri mantra, that as a little girl
Just
you were singing it?
Yeah, like that my father, he started singing it to me while my mother was pregnant with me, so it was kind of their way of welcoming me.
Right.
And then at my birth, and then as a good night song every night as a child.
Right.
So that's
And when you sing it now in concert, is it particularly powerful for you?
it feels like part of me or something. It feels like it's me or something.
Right.
It's I just feel at home, But I feel at home with all the mantras. I don't in that way.
Right.
But there is something special about the Gayatri song, isn't there? We play of all the mantras, we played that, like for the last 10, 12 years, I guess. Almost every day. And whenever we play concerts, that's one we never leave out.
Right.
And it's always fresh. The thing with the mantras, are always fresh. It's a funny thing. It's not like you sing a song and then after a while you want to change it because you're fed up with the words or something. The mantras, they're alive. It's like opening a box and out they come when you play them, like the one we just played. They just live.
Right.
They're present, and it's an amazing thing to feel that, to sing the same thing every night, and it's always new for all three of us.
Right. Right. It's also amazing that the Western audiences have taken up with Indian mantras and are singing along with you, I think, most nights.
We just sang in the not Grace Cathedral, Wells Cathedral, in Wells.
Yeah, in England, yeah.
That ancient old Christian, an amazing old
Beautiful cathedral,
like,
yeah.
And there we are with 1,000 people all singing mantras in this cathedral, and it, the Western people, there's something, I was wondering, what is it? Is it that the Christianity somehow has not answered these people's needs? Because here we are singing a totally different thing, and we're welcomed by the Christian community.
Mm-hmm.
The ministers were there, and but there we were strangely singing Hari Om Shiva Om, and they're perfectly right,
It might be rather fun to add one of those old Christian hymns in sometime and see what happens.
We've got Hallelujah. There's so much magnificence near the ocean.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, and in a way,
Hallelujah, it's Hebrew.
Well, it's kind of, it's on the, it's on the cusp.
Because I think it feels to me it's even beyond the mantra or beyond hymns or Hebrew. I mean, it's something, as you say, you can't talk about. And one way of coming to it is sitting and talking about truth. And another way of coming to it is singing, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's just an energy that moves between you guys as the focus and whoever's there, and something happens together. Yeah? It's like a communing together.
Yes.
But the mantras, they really talk to some deep, it really feels like we all know that language somehow, like, because so many times we get mails from people who hear a mantra in a shop or something, have no idea what they're listening to, and are deeply affected, and then, so it seems to be this universal sound language that we all relate to, no matter how connected we are to India or,
Right.
or the mind.
But what I perceive also in your concerts is what Miten, you were saying perhaps a few minutes ago, that there's also a certain space you create because you kind of stop, yeah? And in this stopping, in a way, I guess the first time you did it, it might have felt a bit dangerous, I don't know, but you stop, and then something happens very spontaneous in the silence that's there. And I felt that a few times in your concerts, that like it's a magic because you don't know really what will happen. It's not the same as singing because, as you say, you have some sense of the effect of a mantra. But with this space, which you seem to me to be very courageous to create, yeah, where you just kind of stop, and then it's very familiar usually between you, and that touches everybody immediately, and it's like it draws them to you.
But that's what I mean. That's we couldn't have figured out a way to perform that. It is just a natural, because it came out of that ashram, because it came out of that experience with Osho. There's nothing else but that. So it's not that we try and do it or anything, and it's just a natural thing that and what I see happening is that as the world speeds up and as all the information and everything comes more and more intense, it's rare for people, including myself, to stop. And the concerts are an evening of stoppage.
Yeah, but that's kind of very courageous. Yeah, it's very courageous.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It would be courageous if we actually felt that we'd done something to, but the fact that it would be more courageous for us to try and perform, to go and say, okay, now you do that, and I'll do this, and then we'll sing this song, and then Manoj, you do. If we, that to me would be more courageous than hanging out and saying, what shall we sing? What do you want to hear? And because then the energy, there's a flow, and that's what makes it comfortable.
When you started, you're saying how you had this very strong connection, both of you, with Osho, and now I know you've been traveling in the world for these many years. Have you now got a connection with other masters? Do you feel yourselves messengers for other masters?
Personally, no.
No.
No. You can only have one master. You just when that happens, I've sat with a few other masters, and I can say that they've all enriched my life, no doubt.
Right.
But there's only one master.
Right.
There's only one master.
Yeah. That's very clear. Because I think you've been hanging out with the Dalai Lama.
No, not really.
We just
Not
had
so
a
much.
private, one time. But for me, I just used to be much more insular. I used to only be going in the ashram. I only have friends who are Osho sannyasins, and so now that's gone totally, and I don't make those distinctions anymore. Between non-sannyasins and sannyasins, how it used to be, like, I don't know, 15 years ago.
Right.
And in that way, I feel much more, I feel totally inclusive now of all the different paths and gurus, and, and that's a really beautiful feeling.
Yeah, you recorded last year for the Golden City. You recorded this Mula mantra.
Yeah, because I mean, the Mula mantra, the meaning of it is so beautiful and so universal, the way it honors, the divine as first as the unmanifest, and the divine as the spiritual teacher, the guru, the divine in every one of us, the male energy and the female energy. I mean, it's just such a beautiful whole, celebration.
Do you want to get your bansuri? Let's play it. Can we play it?
Sure, yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Mula mantra. I haven't played that for so long.
Oh, really? Yeah. Because I came there just after you'd been there, and it was kind of, there was some Osho people there, but also people from other traditions there, and then you had played your mantra.
How's it going? No, sad. Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namah Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namah Hari Om Tat Sat 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namah Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samhita Shri Bhagavate Namah Hari Om Tat Sat 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. It's like rubbing one of those genie things, and then it comes out. Yeah, they just come out.
So there's a fundamental question: who am I? Who are you?
Who is asking? You just give us a clue.
I mean, I have all the, I have all the spiritually correct answers to that question, and now I don't anymore bother with the answer, and it feels really good, a good feeling, It's because it's just the happiness of this moment, and and also that barrier of, oh, this is enlightenment and this is before enlightenment, this is after, is also gone, which is also a very relaxing feeling, Now I don't, it's just the way it is now. That's it.
You could just live it from moment.
And then also the, the misery is lived sometimes too. I mean, it's very rare, but or the split feeling inside, or the struggle, or the, and that's not so comfortable, but it's in there too. And it was a really big let go when actually it was Miten who helped me with that, just that feeling of, wow, I don't have to make that separation of enlightenment, and yeah.
Do you have a sense then what enlightenment is?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, I actually had an experience of really feeling it. I felt all the things that Osho always said how it would be, and that was in the Golden City. It was a very strong feeling. It was actually the transformation of an intense feeling of anger, like extreme anger, and just being with it and not doing anything about it. And then suddenly, pretty very, very quickly, actually, it transformed into blissfulness, And then to feel that feeling of every feeling is part of that bliss, and that's really every feeling. So exactly that state I was in, I don't feel now every moment. I have not felt again since that time. But I know I've experienced it, which is I'm very grateful for. And still, I've also I don't really look for it now. I mean, I don't really try to recreate it, or I'm basically just really happy, I'm just really...
What's wrong with it?
Just happy.
How dare you say that? That's really to say that you were happy
all the time.
It's one of the worst things you could possibly say. All the time.
Well, as long as I do what she tells me.
Oh, okay.
Which is all the time. Miten's got a much better answer.
Oh, I don't.
Okay.
I was trying to think. What am I going to say? And I have no idea what to say. I have no idea what to say.
Let me ask you the same question.
No.
So there's a fundamental question, yeah. Who am I?
Yeah.
Who are you?
God, man. I have no idea. I have no idea. I really don't know. It's I feel like a happening.
You feel like a happening?
Yeah. Happening. That's what it feels. I feel like I'm a happening.
Like an event or something?
Yeah, like an event.
So you're not. You don't.
Tickets to that.
So you don't care too much about enlightenment either, I think. I mean, you said that when you first came to Osho, you were even ready to give up your music
No, I wasn't.
for
I
enlightenment.
wasn't. No, I wasn't even ready. I wanted to. I was looking for a way to. Yeah, I mean, enlightenment. I think Deva pretty much. She really articulated very sweetly, didn't she? I mean, I did. I did. I mean. I think I've become. Life has become easier for whatever reason, to a point where, you know, I like to, I wake up in the morning, I like to exercise. I like to exercise, you know, and I like to take the day as it comes, you know, and we have schedules and we have commitments, but I don't concern myself with them. David does, you know. She does. She's amazing, and Mano's here.
The question is, who are you?
No, but this is yes. I'm trying
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to get out of it, you know. No, but I was actually, you know, I was moving in that direction. You know. So yeah, I'm just, you know, things happen, and I'm part of that happening, and that's what happens, and it will happen until I stop happening, and this physical body, and then something else will happen. I don't know. I just.
I think we just failed the test here.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that you see, what's really interesting for me in trying to come into an understanding with you is that you actually express all this in another language, which in fact I'm not a musician, so actually I'm not so a party to your language. My language is words and silence.
Yeah.
Your language is music and silence. So we can meet in the silence.
Yes.
Mm.
And then it's easy because as soon as you play, at the end of the playing, then it's just profound silence. It's like tangible cream cake that we might have found in a little cottage in, you know, in England somewhere.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free. With real strawberries.
Organic.
Organic. Would you like to say something about destiny? Because it seems to me that if I was thinking of an example of some people who've come together, in fact, here I can include three of you, because it feels to me like maybe in the last year or two it's become three, that it's happened in a very much of a destiny way. I don't think you planned it. I don't think, from what you've been saying, you planned very much. You have to have a schedule, but basically it's happening, as you say. So would you say something about destiny?
I think I can only, it feels like something, this was meant to happen. That gives me an understanding, somehow a confirmation of Ramesh's understanding of life. You know, like this is not an accident. You know. And when I trace it back, it's been, you can see it from the time we met, and the way Mano's appeared like an angel into this, and the way I feel Osho just gave us a job, you know, and it's a job that needed doing, and we were somehow chosen, and what we do is we do everything we possibly can to cherish it and nourish it, and share it. Beyond that, there's nothing much we can do. You know, we're not great musicians. I'm not a great musician for sure. Deva's got a gift. She has a gift. Manoj is the more of all the three of us. Manoj is a technical, very accomplished musician, but we're not. And so it's, you know, like all we can do is just give whatever it is we feel we have to give, 100% total. That's why we wanted to meet you. We in some ways really wanted to meet you and really wanted to hang out with you like this, Phil. But in another way, I was like, I could have easily gone, look, we've got 2 hours, let's give ourselves a break. But it feels like the point of this is to give it 24/7, however we can. Not to the point of exhaustion, but this regenerates us. You know, it gives us juice for the next road journey to Amsterdam. You know, and so yeah, that's how it is. It definitely is.
You really feel this destiny.
I feel undoubted.
How you met, yeah. I mean,
the whole thing is just, and it's really, it's interesting because there's always this thing of the secret, you know, the manifesting and the attracting of the right thing and everything. And in some ways, I must have attracted it also because I just read a letter that I wrote when I was 18, and I wrote, oh, there are these musicians in Pune, and I would love to be a musician and travel around and be in this sense of community. And, you know, like I was really spelling out my life, you know. And when I left school, I thought, oh, I would like to meet a guy I can work with and travel with. It had nothing to do with music, but I just kind of liked those, that I could be really always together with a guy, you know. But I was never, it was always just a passing thought, you know. It wasn't like, oh, I must visualize it and carry it and feel that feeling and whatever. So it was just in hindsight, I see how I actually had that thought, but it wasn't, you know, occupying me like that. And I wouldn't have imagined it like that. And then Manoj comes along. I mean, like, to find, you know, we were so long just the two of us, and we couldn't really imagine a third person. How would that work? You know, how would we do that? You know, and then I couldn't have made up Manoj in my mind if I'd wanted to. You know, like it's just amazing how perfect it is. You know.
Right. And how did you meet Minouche with them?
I met them in San Francisco when they're recording an album called In Race.
Right.
And a friend of mine, I was in the States. I think I moved there about 3 years ago then. And I was playing with, you know, I'm sure you have heard Jai Uttal. And
Right.
I was playing with the Ali Akbar Khan school there, and I was basically trying out many things. And through Jai Uttal, I believe they recommended me to have me in their CD. So I clearly remember the first smile I was entering to the studio, and it's beautiful people looking at me. That was it, you know, the meeting was still in my heart.
You met in a smile.
Yes, and felt the spark then, you know, and I was so touched by their music. And I mean, obviously I had this, you know, fire into me, which I had, you know, I was in the rock music scene, jazz music scene, and just that feeling of going to America and make it something big happen, that rush inside me. But meeting Deva and Miten made me find the true longing that I have been looking for. So I feel very fortunate to have you guys in my life.
That's great.
Thank you.
And from being attracted to being a rock star, I mean, do you find these mantras also have touched you and changed you in the last years?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's you know, I grew up in East. I mean, I when I was a kid, there was kirtan and satsang in my house every day. You know,
Right.
I was just not aware of. And I grew up in one of the major part of major space where the Buddhism is going on Bodhanath and Pashupatinath. It's all happening there.
It's close.
But,
It's close to Kathmandu. I
Yes,
think.
it's in Kathmandu. And
Right.
for me, it's like coming back to mantras and just, you know, repetition of same word and same mantra. It's like practicing a note that I practice all this saragama for hours, the same thing. And somehow I feel I feel like I am getting to know all this mantra back again in a different way that I have never cared it before,
So it was there as a
There,
child,
yes,
the
and
way
I
with
didn't
Deva had
really,
also as a
yes.
child.
And I didn't really thought of, like what mantra is, and I don't know, I was chanting, but, there was a priest in the house, but it just felt like all the regular thing that I never, but coming here is like a meeting back, and I feel like, wow, it's great.
Yeah.
Something from deep inside
Yes.
him.
Yes, and it's really touches me back again, and it's going back home now, and it's going to the temple, and the priest chanting the mantras, the same mantras you guys sing. I have a totally different vision for it now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you sing together somewhere in India? Probably in Pune. Do you sing?
No,
we've never,
Oh, you haven't sang in Pune?
not with
No,
Manolo.
not for. We left. We never went back there since the year 2000.
Oh, really?
We were just never found the space to. Well, I guess we will one
Because I
day.
was thinking it must be wonderful to play in
Oh, man.
Kathmandu also.
It'd be great to take him to the ashram, to have him play in the samadhi. That's really one thing I'd
That'd
like
be
to
nice.
give
I'd
him.
love to do that.
It's an incredible sound in there. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah,
It'd be great to him when I was in the samadhi. One day we'll make it.
yeah.
Also in Kathmandu.
But it's funny you talking about destiny and the mantras and everything, and I'm thinking also of Deva's dad. Like sometimes I think to myself that this has got a lot to do with him too. This spreading of love all over the world. His daughter doing that because he was in the Nazi thing. He was a young, reluctant guy who was 14 or 15 in the Nazi youth, and had to do the whole trip and couldn't get out of it, and somehow, ended up in a coal mine in Yugoslavia for like 5 years, and in his own way, reaching out, like he would do things like pay with his bread that he was given for food. He would pay to hear Yugoslavian words. He wanted to learn the Yugoslavian language, and that's it was again kind of reaching out. And he was an artist, really, really special artist, and somehow it often touches me, and I think of Wolfgang, and you and his daughter, and somehow through him, he's been able to heal a lot of what happened without him being here, But somehow that's also a part of this whole magical event that's happening.
Yeah, I think happening is the word, because
Yes.
it's like destiny happening through you.
Yeah.
And you're very modest, actually, so you see yourself as messengers.
Yeah, it's happening. It's not dead. Wolfgang's not dead. Osho's not dead. It's all there. It's all here. Although David was quite happy when he used to go off to have a few months on his own in Greece or something, paint. She was happy to get him out of the house. He was a very strong disciplinarian,
Oh, yeah.
with his kids. But very, very full of fun too. He was a really special man.
Did I get you talking about destiny? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, you did.
I
You
did
can
it.
watch it on the video.
Okay, so it's clear that both of you have Osho in your heart as the master. Could you say something about a master? What exactly is a master?
It's like an inspiration and it just feels good. I think as a human, it feels good to be able to direct the love to a certain point, you know? It's easier somehow. And for me, I was really interesting when I felt that I had directed my love to the divine, to this one dot, Osho, you know? And I realized that even physically I could feel that it's in front of me and not behind me, you know? That some of my love was going like this, you know? And then I made that bigger so that I could feel it all around. And so it's Osho is that flavor that suits me the most, you know, of the divine or of the realized being or of consciousness, or it's just like everyone has their own taste, you know, of what they like and what they relate to and what makes them feel at home. And for me, that's Osho flavor, and that I can feel all around. And it's also, yeah, it's like for me it was also to let go of that physical, also that form. It took me a while to realize that this is one form. It's not the form, you know, like this is not how it has to look, you know, because that for me was a bit of a trap I was in for a while, that I thought enlightenment has to look exactly like that. It has to be graceful, it has to be beautiful, it has to be intelligent, it has to be so vast, you know, like this genius guy, you know, and then you feel like, oh, I'll never be like that, you know, and then realizing, yeah, that's the form of that consciousness took in this being, but it might take another form in another being, and it's not less consciousness, it's just another flavor of ice cream, you know, it's like another, and I still love Osho the best, you know, it's just so beautiful, you know, it's just a feast for all the senses to see him and to hear him and to laugh with him and to
And
hear
probably you can sense as you speak, you know, that probably a lot of people will say exactly that about you. Can you accept that?
I get
all those
kinds
words,
of
you see.
projections, I get, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know better.
But I think that's the thing with the Master, and I think it's a point, is that Osho wasn't what we projected either, but he helped us. Like it was like when you project your love, and then you actually find there's nothing there. You know, Osho's way of knowing better was that he also knew better. You know, he was Master's like a window. That's how I see it. You know, and you just you know, and somehow there's a seduction involved. You know, there's a kind of a seduction, and until you realize the further you go towards that thing that's calling you, it's the closer you go to yourself, actually. And when you actually completely dissolve into the meeting of that thing that you've been being seduced to come close to, there's nothing other than this moment, you know. And I think that so shows that was any master's job. Once that happens, job is over, you know, his job is done, and as a human, and he, you know, and so, you know, the projection is, in the case of Deva, I see it, you know, and me to a certain degree, but of course a lot less. But the fact is that the projection is healthy. It's a feeling of love. And if Deva stays true to that thing of I know better, there's nobody there in the end. People will find there's nobody there but themselves feeling love, you know, and it doesn't have to, Deva doesn't, I watched her, you know, because she was she was a very shy young girl, and who wouldn't sing or wouldn't open her mouth and sing in a sound check because she wouldn't want to sing alone. She's okay singing with me. So I've watched this journey where people have projected so much on her, and it's beautiful. And you know, from my vantage point, I've watched. Is she gracious with this? How, you know? And I've just watched her graciously live this thing that she's been destined to live, and you know, the ego is. It's been so right that she never considers herself a musician, because that musician's ego is not there. There's nothing there but, oh, you know, you think I'm that, but I know better.
Right.
You know,
This is a very beautiful answer, yeah, because it's very easy to.
yes, yes, yeah. And Manoj, that's why Manoj fits. He's the same, you know. He's like, he's just.
He's right here, so be careful what you say.
But, you know, one thing you, as a musician, you'll understand this. But one thing, when Dave and me were just the two of us, you know, when I was thinking, what am I going to bring in? I'm going to bring in maybe another string instrument or something. And what I'm not going to bring in is any wind. I don't want, you know, Deva is singing, that is her territory. You know, I don't want another wind instrument. That's the last thing. I want something that this is her, you know. And what do I get? I get a guy who just makes love together, you know, like they just like, you know.
Right.
So, you know, they, again, you know, I was going on a different way, you know, and then Manoj said, no.
Destiny in the end.
Yeah.
I think Ramesh has a book called Who Cares? And in a way, what you're both saying, that I understand, is that it's a happening.
Yeah.
There's not anybody to care.
Yeah.
There's not anybody to be enlightened.
No.
And it's just happening.
Yes.
And if people project onto you both or onto you,
That's their problem.
what you might have projected 25 years ago,
Yeah.
it's a necessary projection for some time,
Yeah.
I think.
It's a heart opening. The heart is being opened.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we all long for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if we're the catalyst for that, we're okay to stand in front of that because we know better.
Yeah, you know better, but also you had a time when you needed that projection. And tonight in Amsterdam, there'll be some people coming for the first time maybe to this kind of evening, and they'll be drawn to you from, if you like, ordinary love. And that projection feels absolutely right.
Yeah.
And then later, as they understand more, that projection naturally changes, I think. So it seemed to me what you were saying about a master, that he stands there and says, come, and you come, and then just when you touch him, he's disappeared. And then there's the window or the door, and you step through that.
Well, that's the moment of stepping through. That is the moment of stepping through. Up until that time, you're stepping towards the window. You just don't know it. But let's just step through, isn't it?
Right.
And then...
Yeah. Beautiful. Would you say something about devotion to the master? Because what is coming out now very strongly is that, in a way, you're both inspired by devotion to the master. You call this master Osho, but in a way it's something, I might say, beyond Osho. And what's left is something we can call surrender, devotion, trust, those kind of words.
It's interesting because devotion, you can get stuck in being a great devotee too, no? You know, and I do find sometimes I feel like, you know, I carry in my little locket a hair of Osho, you know, and it's about the only, you know, I love to see his face, you know, but it's funny, isn't it? Because devotion somehow means being devoted to a physical form. That's that when
Not necessarily.
No.
I think what I get from you both talking is that you're not devoted anymore to a physical form. You're just devoted.
Yeah, but there is something about his face that you know. I tell you, the last time I saw Osho physically, I watched him walk off the podium, and I said to myself, without realizing, he was very ill. It was about 2 or 3 days before he left his body or something, and I realized, this thing of we were all hanging on to his physicality so strongly, and feeling like, wow, till that's not there, we won't be able to make whatever. Or I think I even felt the collective, because I think I was thinking we'll suck on your breast until you take it away, and then 3 days or so later, he was gone, and what remains, I don't want to be sentimental about it. You know what I mean? I don't want to be sentimental about, oh, I miss his physical presence. I don't care. I never was physical that close to him anyway. But sometimes I think, oh, I'm going to have a little picture of him. I'm going to put him down by my monitor in the concert. But then it feels wrong. It feels silly, So what am I devoted to? I am devoted. I know that. I feel it, and there's no question. But I can't really separate the physical from the unphysical in a way. There's some part of me that bounces between loving to see his face also,
It's interesting, you see, what you're saying about this picture, that it doesn't feel right to put his picture, because as I understand it, in Pune now, they've taken his picture from
also
Instagram.
true, yeah.
And I think the idea they had for that, as I understand, was exactly what you're saying in a way, that it becomes bigger than the form. So you're devoted to the divine, and it has been called Osho, it has been called Ramana Maharshi, there are many great masters, but it's just this divine.
But at the same time, if you look at that picture of Ramana, it emanates. If you look at a picture of Osho, there's an emanation happening, Yeah, it just is, that's a mantra right there,
Right.
So.
And in fact, the beauty of the film particularly, because originally I got a sort of inner message to go and make this film, the thing that's beautiful about the film, and it's become in fact more popular than the book, is this incredible energy from all these masters. There's about 25 masters on the film. And there they are, and just as you say, from the emanation of the eyes, from the energy of the person, there's something deep happening between the master and the devotee.
Yeah, and to make that a rule that you mustn't look at that, which I think the ashram has made, is for me, it feels like. But maybe, I don't know. I never tried to run an ashram, so I have no idea. But you've got to have certain direction, But for me, I like to, if I want to see a picture, if I want to sing Osho's name, nobody's going to tell me I can't sing my master's name anywhere. Nobody. And if I want to have a picture of my master, I want a picture of my master. That's, but beyond that, I don't know about, But if I think of that man, that's a big feeling that this guy, just a guy like you and me, knew, stood up and did what he did. That's also destiny. And I guess it's the same, It's like he didn't have a choice either. He just dealt with it in his own way, because he liked controversy, He liked the edge. He lived on the edge. He liked it out there. He would do anything to stir some shit, man. He would, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He liked it. And then he liked what happened. He didn't care about what was going on. It was about what's happening, how, what's being created now. So that guy, I'm like, wow, thank you so much that you gave me this, and that love is the same love as being projected on Deva. It's like, thank you so much that I can come and sing and feel this, So there is a physicality to it, but at the same time, he's not there.
But I find it very beautiful the way you're talking right now, you see, because my sense is that that inside of Osho, I mean, we saw him standing on the marble, stepping out of a Rolls Royce with the beautiful clothes. We saw all that. But I think inside he was probably very ordinary,
Yeah.
and things were happening step by step in his life. And it's actually happening to you, and you have to deal with that it's happening to you, you know, and it's a different manifestation of the same stuff. And I think this is somehow why I'm sitting here with you, because it feels to me like it's happening, and it's happening that you touch many people, and how that works is partly to do with this devotion, I think. And it must be something that has to touch you as you travel through the world, not just in the concerts, I guess, but in people you meet out of the concerts. And it must have been getting stronger over the last years, I guess. I mean, you know, Miten's he's an English kind of
Geezer, go and say it.
Yeah, he's an English geezer, you know. His dad was running pubs, so he can handle it. But, you know, you're sort of delicate and very...
That's total projection.
Well, you might not be delicate, but you certainly appear for me to be delicate.
She's very grounded.
Yeah.
She's very grounded. And she's very funny. She's very funny.
She's not so delicate.
She's...
That's not one of your questions.
we can talk about Deva Premal for a while.
So maybe you tell me something about devotion, you know, because you talked about it earlier, actually. You were saying earlier that you'd come to some moment for yourself where, in a way, the form was less perhaps important, you know, for you.
I mean, really, if I'm really honest,
You have to be really honest.
I'm first and foremost totally devoted to Miten.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, and he's my guru, you know. For me, Miten's enlightened, you know. I mean, for me, the way he lives is my inspiration, and I'm totally always blown away how he lives his life, you know. Like it's and how he.
That's the great thing about English geezers.
Yes. Not all of them, no, I'm not sure.
Because actually, he probably forgets, but I met him about 3 or 4 years ago in the Rainbow Festival. I met you for like 2 minutes. You were practicing in a little room, and I was coming there. I don't know exactly why. I can't remember. But anyway, we had a few words. I immediately thought, English geezer.
So, and that feels, I mean, I love service, you know. I just love helping, or I love, so and through doing, I guess, you know. I mean, just because I'm very down to earth, you know. So that makes me feel good to please in a beautiful way, you know. And like on a bigger level, then I like to do the best I can for the people who come. You know, that I try to answer their emails, or I try to be there after the concert to meet them if they want to meet me, or, you know, so that makes me happy. I don't know what that's got to do with devotion. I'll come back to that now. and the singing, for me, that's I always feel this feeling when I sing. It's that feeling of thank you so much, you know, like it's too much to say, you know, and I can sing that thank you, and it's the best I can do to express it. And it's also a fill me up, you know, with you know, so it's this, and I feel that's devotion. It's a circle, actually, you know. It's not just a one way, you know, energy of love and acceptance and but it's also an openness for that to come inside of me, and that's why I love the mantras and the singing, because they are a bit of both, you know. And actually, you don't know, are you singing to Krishna to say, oh, you're so great, or are you singing, please Krishna, you know, help me, and you know, it's, and the mantras don't tell you that word, it's not really a sentence, like that, So you can put into them how you feel, you can they carry both, and that's devotion.
Well, you said you were devoted to me. Can we talk about that?
Got it on tape now.
Do not erase that bit.
The real truth. But I think you talk about each other a lot, even in the concerts, don't you? I mean, you have this kind of talk even in the middle of the concert. I think about your relationship. About
concerts are like getting in bed. They're just getting in bed with each other, and then see what happens. Yeah.
So I think I would like to ask you to play something that, feels right for you in this moment. Probably I don't have any more questions. Unless there's something I missed to ask you, which you'd like to talk about.
No, I think we've... I'm going to sing.
You can sing. One tune. In the light of love, we are whole. In the light of love, we are home. In the light of love, we heal and sing. Thy will
So that's who we are, that's destiny, and that's devotion.
Thank you for this invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you.